Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum again. Okay, welcome back. So today we're going to continue with the next chapter. Okay, the next chapter. Okay, so let's do chapter 11. Managing new product development process. Okay, so as for now, we have talked about innovation, we have talked about the process, firm structure, firm size structure, what is the best possible way, what are the benefits of having a big size organization as compared to small ones, decentralization of your R&D department or centralization of your R&D department. All right, so in this chapter, we are going to understand, we are going to see how you would like to manage the new product development. Okay, meaning to say your department, your organization has thought about this innovation or is thinking about the two possible possibilities, have thought about this innovation, so now you are making this new innovation, you tengah buat innovation ni, or maybe you are in the process of developing this innovation. You have identified that this product is going to be the innovation. Okay, it's good already. So now you are in the midst of developing. So if you are in the midst of developing this, it has to go through several cycles. Although yes, we have agreed that this is a good product, this is a good idea, this is a good system, but we need to develop it. So as we develop it, there might be something wrong, something right. Okay, so we will try to use some sort of methods. So in the 2014, Cisco moved from using the waterfall model in their development process to a more rigid, to a more robust kind of development process, which is called the agile uh, agile development method. As you can see in the waterfall model here, it flows through, it goes for one after another. That means after the design stage dah habis, baru buat build. After buat build dah habis, baru buat testing. Goes one after another. So after requirement, design, implementation, testing, maintenance. Okay, this is how it goes, one after another. But in the agile state, okay, agile development process, whereby a product is broken up into many smaller parts or features that are built according to unanimous teams. That means each team will handle something. That means each team will design something, will build something, will release it. That means uh, if in a waterfall model, everyone does the same thing, habis everyone moves to the second one. But in a agile, everyone will develop something, but everyone will do a shorter cycle. Okay, and they will meet up quickly. So if there's any problem, they'll fix it immediately. In the waterfall model, you can only find out the problem once you finish the waterfall. Okay, so in a agile development process, you need to understand who is the product owner, who owns the product, who is the final say, that means the customers, who is telling the story, who is giving you the problem. Orang kampung lah yang beritahu the story, so they are telling you the story. So obviously, the organization needs to translate this story into a useful product. Okay, so they are also looking at how agile is much more better than the waterfall model. Okay, so the agile method is much more feasible if we are working on a modular project product. Okay, a modular product is a project is consists of several similar entities. Okay, that means you have the similar entity, but this entity can be broken down. Okay, for example, let's say you're developing a mobile app, so you have 4 menus. So each menu can be developed separately. Okay, Team A develop this menu, Team B develop this menu, Team C develop this menu, Team D develop this menu. So Team A will go and meet the client and come up with the best possible menu on how to develop this. Team B pun sama, Team C pun sama, Team D pun sama. Each of them focus on different areas. So once they have done everything, they will combine it together. Okay. So modular projects are projects that can be broken down into small subs. As compared to non-modular, you cannot broke you can it needs to go through a several process. It needs to follow through each process. Okay. So that is the difference between this. All right. So the question arises in point number 2. How is agile development similar or different from the stage gate process? So what is the stage gate process? We'll come to this in a short while. And what is the difference between agile and the parallel development process? Okay, we will come to this later. Just keep this in mind. What is a stage gate process? All right. So in general, more than 95% of the product development project fails to earn an economic return, meaning their products are able to be developed tapi fail to get the economic return. Why? Is because maybe the products took more time to develop. Sepatutnya dalam masa 3 bulan tapi dia keluar masa 6 bulan, orang dah tak pakai benda tu. Or maybe the product had some problems, okay, sebab salah what you say, salah develop, or maybe that was not what the customer wanted, or maybe dah develop everything but cannot be sold for that price. Okay, cannot be sold for that price. So there are more than one reasons. In the mid 1990s, most US companies use sequence for new product development. Okay, sequence macam waterfall lah. Habis satu, satu. Habis satu, satu. Okay, but then as they went along, they kata macam, oh, this is going to take time. That is why they started to do partially parallel. So partially parallel ni, kalau you tengok diagram dia, before the opportunity identification phase finishes, dia dah start mula dengan development concept. Okay, partially. If the sequence development habis, next one. Habis, next one. But in the partially process, halfway through 3/4 dah habis, dah masuk proses baru. Okay, so development stages will overlap. So for example, work starts on the development of the product process before the product design is completed. So sebelum you dah design, you dah complete your design, you dah siapkan you dah start buat your development dah. Okay, you dah start buat development. Okay, so before the design of the house is complete, okay, you dah start pancur dia punya base. Let's say kita nak buat rumah kan, kontraktor nak buat bina rumah banglo. Before the design dah habis, but actually you dah start buat dia punya base, dah start pacak tiang, dah start clear tanah. Okay, so you can do these things. You don't have to wait until the design is totally complete. So that was what is meant by parallel development, partially parallel development process. And then in order for you to be good, or your organization be good in product development, you also need champions. Is an employee, champions maksudnya is an employee that is dedicated to improving a certain area within the company. Okay, so that he is a champion for that product. So dia punya kerja is to champion something. His job is to champion a product, a new R&D. Okay, so the benefits of having a champion is senior execs have power to fight for the project. That means you put somebody and these people will fight for it. Dia akan pertahankan idea dia lah. Okay, and they can gain access to resources. That means because he is the champion, he is the head, he can gain access. Dia boleh dapatkan access for other resources lah if he needs it. and he can communicate with multiple areas of the firm. That means he or she will become the spokesperson. But the setback is because he is the champion, dia lah paling hebat kali kat dalam tu, he may be clouded by his own ideas. That means dia tak nampak yang problem tu sebenarnya bukan kat situ, it's something else. Or maybe he might suffer from escalating commitments. He has commitment tapi dia escalate, dia procrastinate, escalate commitments tu sebab dia dah champion kat situ, and he is also good, so he might not actually be overlooking a product 100%. Okay, and he may be fear or may fear challenging senior exec because he is at the same level of other senior exec, so dia takut lah kot. Okay, so there might be an issue there as well. Alright, so and maybe orang akan develop anti champion lah, orang tak suka dia macam Charles bagus lah dia. Okay, so in the theory of champion ni, there were two companies trying to come up with drugs lah, ulcer drugs. So company Glaxo dengan SmithKline. Okay, tapi in 1970s, tapi SmithKline ni beat Glaxo to the market, introducing that tablet in 1977. So what they did was they Glaxo ni tried to come up with a new product, improvise the same thing, tapi improvise, and they were the first one to come up with parallel process. So when Glaxo came out, okay, and they chose a champion to actually what do you say, head spear the project, and by 1987 the product tu walaupun kalah pada 77, but by 87 the product was very successful, and the guy yang champion tu became the chairman of the company. So this is how things can work. Okay, so there are certain myths orang kata pasal champion ni lah. Okay, so what was written is there are 5 myths lah. Project with champions are more likely to be successful, yes, because he is the one who actually foresees the project. Okay, they might get involved. Okay, and they will do something which is different, macam Elon Musk. So very radical change. He thought of going to the moon. This is very radical. So because he's the champion of that, he wants to do it and he will do it. So you can have radical changes. Champions are more likely to form from high or low levels. Okay, they will start from the basic or from the highest point. They start from the ground. Okay, and are more likely to be from marketing, because pandai cakap lah, orang yang pandai cakap ni, they will sell the idea. Okay, they will sell the idea to the customers. You know, there's a saying macam if you are good in championing something, you can even sell ice to the Eskimo tau. Okay, you can sell ice to you are a very successful champion kalau you boleh jual ais kepada orang-orang Eskimo, orang-orang yang dekat Eskimo lah, orang-orang Eskimo. Okay, so that's the saying lah. Okay, and later you will also see, in order for you to be to check the product, okay, in order for you to what you say, to manage the product. This is what I'm looking for. To manage the product, you also need to work with your customers. So there are a few ways of working with customers. One, you can, paling simple, you do surveys. That means you come up with a new product, bagi survey, ask them to read, or you use social media, you put up this product and ask people to advise, people to put down comments, or you use lead users. Lead users ni macam example saya pakai sini, safety helmets. That means you get a person, a group to use your helmet ciptaan you ask them to use. They are the lead users. They will test it for you. Macam kalau katakan a company comes up with a new skateboard, new bicycle, so they bagilah bicycle to the cyclist, ask them to test it for a few months, tengok kat mana betul, kat mana salah. Okay, so they can do that. Or you can use up crowdsourcing. Okay, you ask people to voluntarily put down their ideas, put down their comments on certain issues. So involving customers in your product development is a good thing, in your product, in your innovation, because you actually get something out of the customers. Tapi you must know how to handle them lah. You must know how to get their ideas. Okay, we can use like we use lead resource lead users. We come up with a thing. That means kita keluarkan dengan mobile app, kita keluarkan dengan telefon, bagi kat diorang, suruh diorang rasa macam mana. Okay, let's say we come up with a new toy. We give the kids kat tadika ni. We tengok cara diorang main, cara diorang interact. You see what happening. Okay, or maybe you come up with a new set of a new, let's say if you're in a chef in a restaurant, you come up with a new set of menu. You bagilah orang rasa sikit, and people say, oh, this is too pedas, this is too sweet, this is too sour. So you get comments and you improvise. So those are the things that you can use in product innovation where it involves customers. Okay. Um, this is also an example from one of the companies where they were to develop a pipe hanger. Okay, so they did a workshop. They had 12 long-term customers, and they were asking customers what is their best, what is their interest in their products. Okay, next we can also involve suppliers. You can ask your suppliers, because these suppliers will supply something to you. Because if you want to develop a product and you don't have enough supply, then there's also a problem. Okay, so you get their ideas. What is the best time you can develop this product? Is it easy to get this particular product? What's your turnaround time for suppliers and things like that? All right. So this is the stage gate process yang tadi saya explain tu. Okay. So stage gate process ni attempts to control uncertainty upfront to avoid later changes. As compared to agile seeks to adapt uncertainty. Okay. So the main difference between a stage gate process and an agile is uncertainty to before they'll start what? They will see. Yes, no. Is it a go ke no go? Boleh jalan ke tak? Kalau tak boleh, they will drop it off. As compared to agile, they will take it and try to solve it. Kalau tak boleh, try to adapt it. Mungkin bawa ke version 2. Macam tu. Kalau stage gate process, each idea, each state ni, they will check betul, yes, go, and then they'll go to the next one. Yes, go to the next one. So obviously kalau you nampak kat sini, agile is much more faster as compared to stage. Stage ni much slower because they need to get it clear, right, 100%, go, baru don't go to the next one. But in agile, they do it very fast. They try to adapt. Tak apa, problem ni, tak apa, kita simpan. We can do it. At least they want to have a skeleton first. Okay, if they cannot do that process now, they'll keep it to version 2. Okay, that is the difference between agile and stage gate process. Okay, so another another issue that we are talking about in a new product development is the time and cost escalates with each state. Thus, stage gate process only permits a project to proceed if all assessment indicate success. So a stage gate ni, kalau dia nak proceed, it needs to make sure that there is success. Kalau tak ada success, it will not go through. Kalau agile ni, kalau ada sikit success, go through. Kalau tak ada, go through. Maybe the next one kita akan improvise ni. Okay, agile will always produce something. Tapi stage gate ni, they will look at it betul-betul. Kalau boleh go. Let's say in a restaurant, they want to follow stage gate process. They want to introduce new types of food. Hari ni dia orang jual nasi minyak, esok dia orang nak buat nasi biryani, tapi dia orang tak ada expertise. Tak apa. In a agile, they will do it, they will learn it, or they will promote it and say next month kita akan ada. Tapi next month belum tahu lagi. Tapi kalau dalam stage gate ni, next month pun if they know they cannot get, cancel. They will have a cook first and then they will try to advertise. But in an agile, they'll advertise first. Ada tak ada, tak apa. Okay? They buat macam tu. Kalau stage gate ni, they want to minimize the risk. So if it's going to be risky, they will not take for it. Okay, so In Exxon Research Engineering, they went through like this. So if there is a success here, only then they go on. Okay, success here, only then they go on. If there's no success here, they stop it. Nearly 60% of firms use some type of stage gate process to manage their new product development. Okay? Sometimes it's unintentionally we will do this. Kalau tak ada hasil, stop it. Kalau tak ada hasil, stop it. Tapi agile ni ada. Agile ni is much more different. That means if you can see there is, or if that, or you say if that process can be brought forward, you brought forward. Tapi kalau stage gate ni, if they are not confident in the beginning, they'll stop it immediately. Okay, they're not confident, stop it immediately. Macam saya kata tadi lah, in a restaurant, if they want to promote a new item, chef tak ada pun, agile will continue. Okay, if stage gate ni, if there is no chef for that, they would not advertise at all. Stop advertising. Okay. Next, we also look at quality function deployment. That means we are looking at improved communication and coordination between engineering, marketing, and manufacturing. This is an example. How do you coordinate well between your subdivisions? So a QFD is a structured approach defining to the customers the need, requirement, and translating them into specific plans to produce product to meet those needs. Okay, so we try to find out what the customer want, and we try to translate that into specific plans. Okay, customer wants easy to open, stays open, does not leak, isolate occupants from road noise. Okay, these are what customer need or requirements. So where can we put this requirement? This kat mana kita boleh letak? These are all percentage or the number of jobs that we need to do in order for us to what do you say, to answer this customer requirement. Okay, because sometimes customers requirement is just a requirement, but it's actually not from your division. It could be from a different division, it could be from another department. So but the customer says I want this, so you can spread around this. Okay, who will handle this customer division? Let's say we go into a restaurant, we want satisfaction, customer wants satisfaction, but satisfaction can mean so many things in terms of the boss. Satisfaction di mana dia nak aircon, customer nak kerusi yang sedap, customer nak makanan yang sedap. So it has to be all through lah. Kedai makan tu kena tak boleh hanya fokus makanan. Satisfaction sama dengan makan. Okay, tapi restoran buruk. Cannot be that way. Satisfaction is divided into a few categories. Okay, makanan, satisfaction. The shop condition, satisfaction. Maybe the cleanliness, satisfaction. The drinks, satisfaction. So all of this has equal numbers of satisfaction. Although food is the main, tapi all of the other requirement feeds to customer satisfaction. So although customer says yes, I want the app to be user friendly, but user friendly can mean so many things. It can mean color coordination. Okay, customer wants the user app to be very the color coordination should be well, the font size should be big. Kalau you tanya orang tua, whenever they use a phone or apps, they want it to see it big, they want big fonts. Kalau you tanya orang muda, they want it to be fun. You know? So each of these, although both are customer requirements, but each of these requirements has to be coordinated well and has to be translated well so that we meet the customer's requirement. So these are some steps that you can employ to do QFD, quality function deployment. Identify customer requirement. Okay, point number 5. Team indicates relationship between engineering attributes and customer requirement. Okay, what is the relationship? We're not talking about engineering department attributes, we're talking about other departments as well. Team evaluates competition. Okay, so how is this requirement with other products which are available? Okay. Point number 9. Team evaluates a new design based on the design target. So they need to look at, oh, this is what the customer wants, but is this our target? Okay. Target, what do you mean by target? That means target is this what is the final product? What the customers want and what is the final product is two different things. So you need to understand all this as well. Okay. Design for manufacturing often involves a set of design rules that reduce cost and development time while boosting quality. Okay, so these are some design rules that can be followed when you are doing manufacturing. Right, and then next we are also looking at failure modes and effect analysis. Okay, so this is a method by which firm identifies potential failure in the system, classifies them according to severity and plan to recover. Okay, so these are some proactive actions if there were to have any problems. So how are we going to solve this? Let's say we are back in the shop example. Aircon good, environment good, payment method good, but the food is not good. It's not fulfilling the customer satisfaction. So how do we handle this? Okay, how do we handle this? Or maybe, let's say after everything is good, but let's say after a certain period of time, we receive lots of complaints saying that the cleanliness is not good. So when the cleanliness is not good, it affects our failure. It affects our satisfaction. It affects the customer's satisfaction, and results in our failure. So how are we going to do this? So this you can actually foresee and you can plan. Okay, if this is in this situation, if it's this severe, what should I do? How do I prohibit this? How can I keep track so that this does not appear? Okay, what is the risk of this happening? Let's say I am running a restaurant again. I employ food panda. Okay, so I have to make sure that my food is always ready, because if I am late in delivering food, I will be penalized. The food panda rider might be penalized. So those are the risks. Or what should I do? Okay, let's say the customer wants more than 10, more than 10 items. Am I able to supply more than this 10 items? So these are some things that I have to think before I start coming up with new ideas. And if this problem happens, how am I going to solve it? Right. So in helping this, we have some softwares. We have computer aided design, uh, manufacturing, CAM also. These are designs, computer system that allows us to do prototypes so that we are able to design the best possible way in coming out of our products. Okay, so there's an example here that this American company took several months of developing and doing a prototype scale model, and it cost them about 50,000. But the New Zealand team just used a computer, and they were able to uh, do the same thing in less than 50,000 just by using a computer. Okay, sorry. All right. So tools for mentioning new product. So there are certain tools that you can use. You can measure performance. So why do you need these tools? Is simply because you want to measure your company's performance, and based on this company performance, you can measure the product as well. So these are some questions that you need to answer. You want to answer. What is the average circle time for the development project? How long does it take for you to develop this project? And what percentage of development projects would undertake within the last 5 years? And how much of these projects can you complete? And what is the percentage of you completing? And how fast can you complete these projects? All right. Okay, let us see. Okay, I think that's all for today. Pretty much already here. Okay, so today we have completed chapter 10 and chapter 11. By right, actually, I'm supposed to give you questions on chapter 10 and chapter 11. Tapi saya tak sempat siapkan, bukan tak sempat lah. Boleh sempat, tapi cuma tak ada idea lah. Tak ada idea soalan tu. So I will try to do the questions later today, and tomorrow I will give you 4 questions to be submitted as your individual assignment. Two questions from today's chapter, and maybe another another 2 questions from tomorrow's chapter as well. Okay, so tomorrow you will receive 4 questions. Okay, and to be submitted by the end of tomorrow juga lah. Alright. Okay, so I think we can stop here for today, because it gives me some time to develop the question pun. Saya pun tak sempat nak tengok soalan dia, nak develop question. I think 2 chapters is good enough. As I told you in the early part of the class, next week is your test, next Sunday 9 o'clock in the morning. So your test will take in about 3 hours, and after your test, kalau ada siapa-siapa nak present, let me know in advance. Kalau tak nak present, you boleh submit a YouTube link of your presentation, maximum dalam 20 minutes lah, maximum dalam 20 minutes, and you will be evaluated on that. And your written group assignment, saya anjakkan tarikh dia sampai 20 hari bulan. Okay. Any questions from Hafiz, Fazrin, Rashika?
Betul tak? So, betul.
Yes, Hafiz. Hafiz.
Saya nak refresh balik kan. Untuk grouping ni kan, dalam contoh kami memilih ada satu topik kan, contohlah Nokia, Siemens, Network ataupun transportation dan Sarawak tu, adakah dalam presentation tu kita nak masukkan semua elemen dalam yang kita study sekarang? Saya nak sedikit pencerahan.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good question. So persoalan Hafiz ialah adakah kita nak masukkan semua elemen yang dipelajari in this course? Yes, you can do that. It is good that you do that. You masukkan semua elemen, and bukan semua elemen yang berkaitan lah. Alright, berkaitan. And besides you masukkan, you put in all those elements, I will give more marks for those yang can come up with good examples from their companies or what is going around in Malaysia. Kalau you have another examples yang relevant to those questions, even better. Okay. Kalau you masukkan elemen yang kita belajar, that is good lah. That means I understand that you understand about what we are doing. But besides that, if you can put in examples of companies or examples of your experience or examples of Malaysian history example lah, kalau macam ada syarikat-syarikat yang kita sama-sama pernah dengar ke apa, then you can put down and show some proof yang okay, this company has also gone through the same process, and this is what is going through lah. So that one put even better.
Lagi satu doktor.
Yeah, sure.
Macam kita punya topik tu, dia highlight on CO2 emission or company tu punya proses. Macam mana? Saya macam kurang clear.
Can you repeat the question, or can you give me an example tak?
Dalam case study yang doktor bagi tu, macam semua company tu dia ada topik dia tu, dia ada setiap case study dia ada emission of CO2 macam tu lah. Macam mana how to control tu lah. So kita kena tekankan kat situ ke macam mana tu?
Yes. All based on CO2 lah.
CO2.
Right. Yes. Okay, yang Puan Ira dengan Puan Rashika, okay. Fazrin?
Doktor nak tanya, kiranya nanti present dalam bentuk PowerPoint, submit written dalam bentuk PDF lah.
Correct.
Maximum pages ada ke doktor? Minimum?
Saya rasa tak ada kat situ, cuma number of words kat situ kan.
Okay.
Number of words kat situ. So bila you macam ni, bila you present on the 19 itu, I give you two options lah pada group. Kalau you nak present lah. That means you do a PowerPoint, masing-masing take turns ke macam itulah. Atau kalau you rasa macam lagi cool untuk present dalam bentuk YouTube, go ahead. You present lah macam mana pun, and then you record the YouTube, and then you just bagi saya link saja. Pun boleh juga. Ataupun you nak buat dalam TikTok, rasa tak sesuai.
Lain jadi.
Okay, any more questions? So remember tomorrow saya utang you 2 soalan hari ni, saya bawa saya minta tangguh tu tomorrow Bukan tak nak bagi soalan, nak bagi tapi cuma tak ada idea pula soalan. Okay. Alright, I think we'll stop for today. Thank you so much for attending my class. And inshallah I will see you back tomorrow same time, and we'll do